Okay, blessings everyone. This is Yanni, the only lockologist. So we're in Georgia and I'm about to bless this young man's crown. So you guys remember that video I posted with the gentleman who had the matted hair, right? I'm gonna post more of these videos. Okay. There's certain clients that has that particular texture here, and this is one of them. So if you have hair that is of a mixed race, right? It's more common because we have a Native American client, we have Hispanic clients with it, Indian and black clients with it, right? It's a different texture. Here is softer, and your hair is matting easier because of your texture. Obviously, lean forward for me, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can lean back. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it properly, but you guys see how chunky it is inside here. I'm going to do the before and after. I don't have time to stand up and do the pulling apart like we did the last time, but this is what I want to tell you guys. When I did that first video, a lot of people were asking why we didn't cut into his locks. The young man with the build up under his hair, right? The reason why you don't want to cut, and I have scissors, but I don't put scissors in my client's hair. I rather gently pull it apart, is one, I cannot see what I'm cutting. I've heard people say, oh, I would have cut it off, clean it, and then put it back on. We don't do stuff like that. Like, that's just ridiculous, right? You just have to take your time and pull it apart. If you have this texture here, what I would tell you, avoid getting your hair damp or wet too often. Try the one thing he was doing. That's what caused all this mattedness. You guys see it? All the mattedness, right? One thing he was doing is that he was washing his hair every week, and he has no reason to. He's a student, right? So it's not like he's doing anything crazy, right? That causes his hair to get dirty, okay? If you have, and you should know this texture here. You would know is either you have it or you don't have it. I don't say good hair or so. It's a texture, all right? Even the rose water you guys hear me mention, if you have this texture here, try to avoid getting it on the scalp because you mat in the scalp. You can spray it on your locks, but don't do it too often. And if you must spray it on your locks, try to comb your fingers through so the hair doesn't mat. All right, over washing your hair, if you have this texture, again, the water is going to make all the hair clump up together, right? And you end up like this. Do not let anybody tell you because your hair is matted to take a scissors and run through it. You're not going to see what you're cutting, and you are going to cut your hair, and and your locks are going to be damaged, and it's going to fall off. All right. See what I'm doing here. I'm hoping you guys can see it. Now, unlike the other brother who we did, the guy with the freckles and the buildup, is that his hair we had to do it dry because he had a lot of buildup. If water had taken that, he had what do you call it? He had waxes, he had gels, beeswax, all kinds of stuff. If we had wet that person then separated, it would have turned into something like glue. This gentleman, thank God, he doesn't have the buildup. His own is just matted. So his own is already washed, and now we're going to separate it, okay? I'm going to show the after picture. So if you must do this, take your time and go too gently. What you want to do before your hair gets to this mattedness, every week or every other week, feel through your locks. If you see your fingers can't run through like what I'm doing here, separate your locks and always separate from the root. So this would not happen. He has very beautiful hair, very healthy. There's nothing for me to cut, or it's not dirty, it's not nasty or anything like that. It just needs to be separated, and I need to do it. Okay, so I'm going to show the before. This is the before. I'm sorry, guys. We're really tired. We've been doing this for days in Georgia. I'm going to show the after. What am I saying? This is the before. Help me out, Ronnie. This is the before, and I'm going to show the after and how this beautiful his locks are going to look. Remember, moisture, you have this texture here. Moisture is your enemy. If you sweat in your hair, you spraying it with too much water, all that stuff, your locks are going to matter. All right, and remember, when you have locks, it's not supposed to be using shampoos and conditioners. Even though they're detanglers, your locks is formed from tangled hair. So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to prevent your lock from locking naturally. All right, stay tuned for the after shot. Okay, guys, we are back. All right. All right, so I'm halfway through. This is what it looks like. I hope you guys can see. I have the camera up on a tripod. All right, so I'm halfway through. Lean back for me. Left. Okay, so this is what, see, we're still going through it. Actually, Jimmy had to come and help me. His own is not as bad as the other young man when it comes to separation. He's more matted down here. So one thing I did tell him though, another thing that could happen with this texture here, air doesn't pass through this texture here like it does for black people, right? It meaning that this texture hold, like I said before, it holds on to moisture. What he's going to do, a lot of people don't understand the importance of sunbathing, right? You guys, based on your age, remember back in the day when you had a rug or you had a carpet or something, especially if you're from the Caribbean, your mom, your grandmother, whatever, told you go put it out in the sun. Sun actually pulls odors, and the reason why I'm saying this, he doesn't have it, and this is not to embarrass anyone, including the young man who Jimmy and I first separated a few weeks ago. His own didn't have a smell or anything, but I've dealt with clients with this texture here. They, like him, they will wash him so often, and what it does is that it holds not just moisture, it holds odors, and not in a hygiene way. It's kind of like damp, a sort of damp clothes smell. You know, you remember when you were kids and you came home from, you got wet in the rain and you dropped your clothes in the corner, how it had that dampy smell? Here like this can create that type of odor. And here like this can also create mold. That's why, thank God, he knew something was up when that's what he was just saying when he watched that video we did when Jimmy and I were separating the young man's here. Air is not passing through it. Mold needs a certain type of temperature and environment to grow. It doesn't grow on any type of locs. It has to be in a close, all clumped up, damp, and that's how mold grows. It's a plant like any other, okay? So what he's going to do when he get home, he's going to go sit out in the sun today and tomorrow, and because his hair is going to be damp for a while, as I said, hair textures like this, even my hair, and my hair is not even his texture, my hair takes like 4 days to dry, right? I have a texture that also holds on to moisture. He's going to sit out in the sun and just let the sun pull not just all the moisture, any odors left that should not be there, it's going to pull the odor and the moisture out of here, and he'll have nice flowing locks. All right, I really hope what I'm saying really helps people, because I'm getting more people contacting me when they saw that first young man and say, oh my God, I have hair like that and it's matting up, what do I do? Remember, and I'm going to finish this up in a little bit, remember, moisture is your enemy. Okay, like seriously, it is your enemy, it is your enemy, it is your enemy. All right, stay tuned for the ending of this, and yeah, about a mask, but we're still going to turn him around so you guys can see his handsome face. All right, stay tuned. Okay, guys, so it's done now. So this is what it looks like after we took all the. Sorry. We still have a lot of work to do. Again, if you have hair like this, water is your enemy. Do not wet your hair. The next time he comes, I'm going to use a crochet needle to get the fuzzies in as best as I can. Also, if you have this type of hair, don't let anybody trim your fuzzies. I'd rather not do it right now because hair like this mats up fast. So hopefully it mats up or locks up more so the fuzzies will go back into the lock. All right, really quickly. Sorry, I can't do what I did in the first video where we show every little detail because we already have another client here, but this is what's showing. Okay, good. This is what it looks like when we take all the mattiness out. I'm going to do an update. Could you lean your head back a little bit? See? We got it. Okay, I'm going to do an update on him when he comes in October, God willing, because we come every 3 months. So you see, he has a lot of hair like the other gentleman. And you guys will see his face, and all these fuzzies are going to go back. I'm not trimming anything. It's going to lock on its own, and what doesn't, in time, it goes back into the lock, or I'm going to put it back into the lock myself with something they call the Bangkok method. It's completely different technique. It's done for Caucasians, Asians, anyone with hair like this or straight hair. Okay? And that's it. All right, stay away from water. Don't be spraying. Oh, really quickly, if you must spray your hair, you have this texture here, and you must use rose water. Spray the locks. See, I'm not touching his scalp. Spray the locks and run your fingers through it, because the locks is not what mats up. It mats up from the scalp, right? As you sweat, moisture, all of that. So just, and you don't have to do this spray very often. Like seriously, like once in a I spray my hair with this thing like once a month. Just don't overdo it, okay, guys? Hope this helps anyone with this texture here. Remember, it is for people who are of mixed race or Caucasians, because we have Caucasian clients, Hispanic, he's part Hispanic, part black, all right? And it's one of the most hardest hairs to deal with. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Bless. Ashe.